Okay, gentlemen, welcome to Bava. We're here on in Dalet Amid Aleph, right before the Mishnah. So 2 lines before the Mishnah is a little bit after the middle of the page, on Amid Aleph. And if you remember, the Gemora was looking for, the Gemora's question was, Ein li ela b'muadim b'tam minayim. Just that we have a din, that a muad, when it gores and kills a benubas, it's going to be chayv skila. That is demonstrated from what the pasuk says, O benubas yigach. That goes for the muad, says the Gemora. But tam minayim, but where do we know the din for tam? And the Gemora says, well, we got a b'nei metzinu, we've got a kal v'chomer that it should be so. If that din is true for muad, all the more so it should be true in the case of in other words, we know that there's an equality between tam and muad when it comes to ish v'isha. That's been demonstrated. Just like there's a din skila when a muad kills a ish v'isha, so too there is skila when a muad kills benubas. There's an equality between tam and muad in regard to benubas. Says the Gemora, if there's an equality between tam and muad in regard to benubas, in regard to ish v'isha, all the more so it should be that equality and skila when a tam kills benubas as well. There should be a din skila, just like there is for the din that we saw for muad kal v'chomer. And that the Gemora said, no, there's no kal v'chomer. Now we're not going to get into this now again. We saw it, we discussed it, and now we're going to go weiter. The Kitzer, at the end of the day, we've got no b'memetzinu, we've got no kal v'chomer in order to learn out this din. What we want to learn, that there is a din skila for a tam in regard to benubas. Says the Gemora, no, we've got a pasuk. We got the pasuk. The pasuk tells us. Where does the pasuk tell us? So these are the last 2 lines before the Mishnah. And we start off from the beginning of the line. Taf Lamed. Who wants to read these immortal words of the Gemora? Ezrat Hashem, Roy.
Talmud Lama Ein Kain Yigach Ein Bas Yigach.
Those are the words of the pasuk. It says, O ben yigach, O bas yigach. Those are the words. So from those words, the Gemora learns the following. Nagicha betam.
Whether it calls a boy or whether it calls a girl. Nagicha betam, nagicha bemuad. It's going by a tam or going by a muad. It's equal.
Right?
Nagicha Nisa, Nagicha Nizakain. Bas, and Bas in regard of goring of killing and the goring of damages. The goring does the killing or the goring does the damage.
Right. Now let's. Who wants to read Rashi? So one Rashi over here, the last two narrow lines in Rashi, Talmud Loimar, Ben Yigach Ubas Yigach.
Yigach, Trey's line.
Yigach, Trey's in the...
It says it 2 times.
It says it 2 times.
The Rabbi, the Reba, to include in it, Negicha Lamuad, Ulatam, whether it's a Negicha, is the same between a Muad or a Tam, or also Lamita, Muad, no, Negicha of a Muad and a Tam, for Lamita, Unazachi, and also for damages.
Right.
Yeah, the question, of course, because it's actually saying 2 things with it. One, it's saying Tom is equivalent to Muad, and it's also saying that it works. The Tom Muad case works both in the Mita case and it works in the Zakin case, in the Zikin case. Now, you could say that you wouldn't need the second word Yigach. You could have just said better about Yigach.
Well, 1 second. Before you say what we could have or should have said, what are we saying? What is Rashi saying? What is the limud?
The limud is if you yigach a tam or a muad does the yigach, he is responsible for misa. The animal does get killed, and he's also responsible for zikin, for damage, even if it's a tam, as well as a muad.
So how many Chidushim are we learning from this pasuk?
Well, I think we had the 2 before already. We had the muad. We learned already about the muad. So we're now learning 2. We're now learning that those things for a muad that we had nezikin and meat already. We learned on a muad. We're now learning extra that it works for a tam as well. But actually, the pasuk also was telling you that it works for a ben and bat as well as not just an adult. It works for a katan as well as a gadol. Okay. You're learning that it doesn't matter if it's a katan or a gadol. It extends from gadol to katan. This pasuk.
This pasuk is saying just like gadol is there's liability for gadol. So too there's also liability for a katan.
Right, and it's both. And the liability is both types of liability.
Liability of
Mita and Nezikin.
Right.
Whether it killed it or didn't kill it.
Right.
And it applies also whether it's going to be a Tom or a Muad. It didn't matter what the shore was. The shore could have been a Tom, he's still going to be in that same situation. It's like, kind of like gives everything to the...
Is there a difference between paying damages?
Well, if you don't kill it, it's a Nezikin. If you kill it, it's a...
If you don't kill it...
There'd be damages involved. The Zikim is only taking the place of...
Is it like Bezek Shlem and Chetzinezik apply here?
Well, if you injured somebody, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, if you injured somebody, you have to pay.
Mita Nezikin. Mita Nezikin.
Now, the other day we took a look at a Tosfos over here, the Gichel and Nizakin. Tosfos his interest is focused on this din of Nizikin. Now, it's first of all 2 things over here that we asked the other day. First of all, where do we see that this pasuk at all has anything to do with Nizikin? It seems as though the pasuk is talking about Negicha of Nisa. The previous 3 psukim were all talking about Misa, and then it says, or Ben or Bas. What's the pasuk talking about? Misa. So all of a sudden, the Gemora says over here, we're also learning that this rule is going to apply, that we're going to make equal the din of the tam to the muad, also in regard to the matter of Nezikin. That is to say, what type of a Nezikin are we talking about over here? We're talking about the Nezikin that a shore does to a human being. That's what the zikin is that we're talking about over here.
I wish that they were just talking about the two human beings.
Because if everybody was
Beno Bat or Ish or Isha, they didn't speak about. They always spoke about Ish or Isha, Beno Bat. They didn't speak about Shlom and Shlom.
right. Everybody read, or at least they listened to the Baal Koreh read yesterday on Shabbos. Parshas Mishpatim. Parshas Mishpatim contains all the relevant psukim that we've been discussing here in Bava Kama. Now this parsha that we are talking about now is the parsha which is called when a shor gores Adam. And it seems, on the face of it, to only concern when a shor gores and kills Adam. Where do we find the psukim that talk about the parsha when a shor gores another shore? You know where? Remember? Okay. Yechiel. Hakavod. Let's have the Svarim. We're going to do some Chazorah on Kriyas Torah from yesterday.
That was in there too.
It was in there too. Oh, Phil remembers.
Because there was that's when you had the question about where you had to you divide up and the chetzi is here.
Yeah, very
was in there.
good. Very good.
And you split the live one, split the dead one. It was in there.
It was in there. Okay. It's very important. Let's take a look. Now, just to get our bearings over here, our psukim that we've been talking about over here, we're in Chaf Beis.
Chaf Aleph.
Chaf Aleph, thank you.
Somewhere around Lamed Aleph, around that age.
28.
Yeah.
28 was the first pasuk. Ki yigach shor es ish, es isha. A shor kills umes. He gores the isha umes. Okay, that's the pasuk number 1. That pasuk is talking about any old shore, meaning even a shore which is a tam. Because the next pasuk, Chavtes, tells us specifically that they're talking about ve'im shor nogach hu mitmol shel shom hu et b'valav. If the shore gored 3 times, previous to this one,
So he's talking about the Moed.
talking about a shor muad. What did he do? Behemis, ish o isha. And he killed ish v'isha. So that pasuk is talking about a shor muad. The pasuk before that was talking about a shor tam. And both pasukim are talking about ish v'isha. And what happened to them? They died. Pasuk lamed, Roy, it's we're on page Kuf Ches 108. And then in Pasuk Lamed we have the din Kofer. There's a din Kofer for the Muad, not for the time, because we're now talking about Muad. And then the Pasuk says in Lamed Aleph about Ben Obas. O Ben Yigach o Bas Yigach. If it wasn't a Isha, it was a Ben Obas. Now, this Pasuk is talking about a Muad. Because that's what we've been talking about for the last 2 psukim. Talking about a muad. Maybe you'll say that we should say, what's talking also about the pasuk 3 psukim away. No. What do you have to go all the way over there for? And that would be even a bigger chiddush. No. We're not going to go make a bigger chiddush than we have any permission to do so. This pasuk is only talking about a muad. So that's what the Gemora said over here. Ainli ella b'muadim. You've demonstrated to me that this pasuk is telling me that there's a chi of skila when a muad kills even ben obas. Fine. More asked, but tam minayim. Where do I know that if a tam does so? When a tam kills ben obas, that there's also a din skila. That was the Gemorah's question. More rejected the Metzinu and the Kabbalah Chomer, and now it comes out and says, no, in fact, we can derive this din from the pasuk itself, this same pasuk. And Rashi explained us that because it says Yigach Trei Zimne. So there's an extra wording over here, which is going to allow us to darshan for the tam as well. The tam also will have a din of skila when he gores and kills ben ubas. But then the Gemora says not only that, but there's also going to be an equality between tam and muad in regard to ben ubas when he does nezik to ben ubas. Okay.
Well, if you learn one, okay, let's say, since the pasuk's talking about, it's talking about mitzvahs, because that's what this whole thing is about. Because that's where it says Kamishpat Hazeh Yaseh Lo. And you didn't, there is definitely an extra yigach in the pasuk, because you could have just said uben or bat yigach. You didn't have to say uben yigach or bat yigach. So there is definitely two yigach, and only one yigach is necessary. So that extra yigach that he's talking about, that would tell you
what?
That a tam, that the same rule for a muad applies to a tam, and you would think that it would make sense, since we're all talking about the Misa case, we're going to have it will apply to the Misa case. So it almost seems like from the Misa case, how you can get the Nezikin case out of it, seems to almost be, that could almost be from the Mometzino between the Misa case and the Nezikin case.
Oh, okay.
It seems like you can logically learn one from the other, because once the tam and muad are equivalent in the Misa case, isn't it a kol shekain that they should also work for the Nezikin case? Because a tam, if a muad would cause damage, why shouldn't the tam be responsible for damage? It's damage. It's not Misa. It's a less severe thing. The Nezikin is less than what you had before for the Misa. The Misa, so it shouldn't be. It should work that way. It almost seems to be that way.
Well, the fact that I know that the din is so by a muad doesn't mean that it'll be also so by a tam, though.
Yeah, well, we're starting at two yigach. One yigach tells you definitely one of the two. Right? With the second yigach, there is an extra yigach that's going to tell you something. So that makes sense for it to tell you to be for Misa, because the pasuk's talking about Misa.
The pasuk's talking about Misa.
Right. So
with this word Nizakin, we're introduced to a whole new concept that we're learning a din Nizikin over here as well, which we have to know how that works.
What does that mean?
Oh, so this is what we.
If we said three times. That's automatically so we know that it's a muad.
Now you hit
the
nail on the head.
If he says mishpat, that means there was a problem, and we spoke about muad. We know the chokim after three times you have to go, but all of a sudden there's a problem now. Maybe the problem was they went to a mishpat. So then they also decided that also the tam you could do ski there.
Okay, so this is the key. The key is that this pasuk that we're talking about really has two parts of it. The first part is the part that we've been focusing on. O ben yigach, o bas yigach. That was what we've been darshaning. That's what Rashi mentions. He doesn't mention anything about any other part of the pasuk. Tosfos mentions, but there's another part of this pasuk. The other part of the pasuk is what Yehiel was speaking out over here. It says, O ben yigach, o bas yigach in the Reisha, and then the sefer of the pasuk says, Kamishpat hazeh, according to this mishpat, yasalo, you should do to him.
Who is the shor?
Means the...
we understand what the shor, if he's a tam or muad.
Okay, so now, this is what...
I don't know, but it's true, I'm not sure, I don't know.
Tosus says over here, in other words, these words in the Sefer, Ken mishpat hazeh yasalo. According to this mishpat, whatever this is, yasalo, you should do to him, whoever he is.
Right.
So the pasuk is great if we could figure out what zeh is referring to and what lo is referring to.
Right. Almost Rashi on the pasuk.
But Rashi doesn't mention anything about
Rashi on the pasuk is basically saying that the pasuk is there, the extra pasuk is there to make the rule the same between the Katanim and the Gedolim. That's what the pasuk is there for. The pasuk there now makes the Katanim and the Gedolim sort of have the same din. Whatever the rule for the Gedolim is, would be the rule for the Katanim.
So you want to
And
say,
now that you have that, once we have the two Yigachs, we have to learn that it now extends from not just the Muad. The extra Yigach tells me that the Tam is equal to the Muad. I now have the Tam equal to the Muad. Whatever the same rule is for a Gadol holds true for a Katan. And since the Gadol has Misa and Neziki, therefore the Katan, you should be liable for both
okay,
Misa
very good.
and Neziki.
Good. Okay, I hear. Very good. Let's see what Tosfos says over here. Negicha l'nizakin.
Where is this?
Want to read the Rachamim? Want to read this Tosfos?
Okay.
Negicha l'nizakin.
Negicha l'nizakin. It's the Rech, the Rabot, Nizakin, Mishum. We have to include this
The din that there is nizakin.
Okay.
We need this pasuk we need this pasuk in order to include the liability for nizikin, because we don't have any authority to make a din nizikin from anywhere else.
Okay. It's Rech Rabot Nizakin Mishum. Seifa. I guess the Seifa, the Pasuk, right?
The Seifa of this pasuk,
right?
Which is the
high cry.
That's the pasuk of Kamishpat Azeh. That's the Seifa of this pasuk.
Okay.
Yasalo.
The high cry. This pasuk.
Yeah.
Benizakin, Benizakin.
Right. Where did we do that?
B'maniach.
Hamaniach, in Perek Hamaniach, that we all learned together, I believe.
Okay. K'mishpat shor.
El Daf Lamed Gimel.
K'mishpat shor b'shor. V'chen b'mishpat shor b'shor.
Right.
What is that referring to?
That's the din. That's what we're going to see in a moment. We're going to
Mishpat,
take a look.
Mishpat was on the shore. There wasn't. They asked if he was a moed or a tam.
Mishpat Hazeh Yasalo. According to this mishpat that exists.
Shor b'shor. When a shor causes another shor.
Yeah.
As opposed to a shor.
Yasalo. You'll do to this one. Who's this one? Mishpat Hazeh is shor b'shor. Yasalo. You're going to do to this one. Shor ba'adam. Oh. How did you know that? Givaldik. You must have remembered what it says over here. Hashem gave you a present.
Okay.
We're going to see that in a moment.
V'chen b'sof perkin, at the end of the parak, of the Al parak. Which parak? The Al parak? V'chen b'sof perkin, inyan shmira mu'ula.
Yeah, mem heim on the base.
Okay,
it's our parak.
We didn't get to it yet.
Yeah, we didn't get there yet. That the rest of the Tosfos is we can. He's just telling us there's going to be another source for this that we need this. We need to learn Nezikin, and how we're going to do that? We're going to learn it from this Mishpat Azeh that we saw in the Gemora in Hamaniach, and we also see it later on in this parak on Mem Hey Amid Beis. Fine. Now. Let us go to, Tosfos has now quoted us that over there on Lamed Gimel in Perek HaManiach, the Seifa of this pasuk, the Gemora has a limud to the Rabot Nezikin, to include liability of Nezikin. Okay, so let's take a look, everybody. Everybody's got a Gemora, Lamed Gimel? We're going to need to get some Gemoras here. It's Lamed Gimel, Lamed Aleph, I believe. Not the middle of the page. Instead of finishing this, instead of being Mar B'Sedra, I was looking in the Gemora and Bava Kama before the Suda. So I have to make it up in there. I seem to have it over here.
It's that Mishnah, the first Mishnah, and the first Gemara says, Tan Rabbanan, Mishpat Azeh Yaseh Lo, Mishpat Shor B'Shor, Kach Mishpat Shor Ba'Adam. The way it is from the shore and the shore, Nizikim, it's talking about Nizikim. I'm not sure though. Amud Aleph.
What?
Amud Aleph.
Thank you very much.
Rabbanan, Mishpat Azeh Yaseh Lo, Shor B'Shor, Kach Mishpat Shor Ba'Adam. Bashor Bashor Tam Shem Chetzi Nezik. More Nezik Shem Af Shor Ba'Adam Tam Shem Chetzi Nezik. More Nezik Shem. Wow. Rashi. Got that? That's just the Gemara. The first words of the Gemara on the first Mishnah. On the first Mishnah. Tan Rabbanan, you see it? Tan Rabbanan, Gemara. Mishpat Azeh Yaseh Lo.
Okay, here's Gemora.
I guess.
You got it? Everybody has. Just me. Okay. Okay. So, it says, okay, from the Gemora. Now this Mishnah, we learned about what happens when all the dinim of a shore, and when it gores another shore, whether it be a tam, whether it be a mur. And the first thing the Gemora does is bring our pasuk, the seif of our pasuk. So you want to read Tan Rabbanan.
כמשפט הזה יעשה לך, כמשפט שון ושון, כך משפט שון באדם.
Right. From these words in our pasuk, Mishpat Azeh, according to this Mishpat, Yasalo, you should do to this one. Mishpat Azeh, Yasalo. Like this Mishpat, you'll do to that one. What is that referring to? Says the Brisa, Mishpat Shor B'Shor. Just like the Mishpat of Shor B'Shor, when one shore gores another shore. Or any other property, for that matter, and does damage, so does liability for a tam and for a mud, each one according to his own din. Kach mishpat, so too is the mishpat. This is the second part of the pasuk. Yasalo, you will do to it. Who's it? Mishpat shor ba'adam, just like Rachamim said. That's exactly what the Brisa says. So Mishpat Hazeh Yasalo means just like the din of Shor B'Shor, so too will be the din of Shor Ba'adam. What is that din? Let's continue. Shor B'Shor.
מועד נזק שלם. אף שור באדם טעם משלם. לא, השור משלם חצי נזק. במועד נזק שלם.
Right. Period. That's the shita of the Tanakama, of the Brisa. Just like the mishpat of Shor B'Shor, A tam, when it does nezek to a shore, pays chatzi nezek. And when a muad does nezek to a shore, he pays nezek sholem. That's the din that we find by shor b'shor. Af shor b'adam, so too the din will be exactly that same din. When a shor gores adam, a tam will pay chatzi nezek. A muad will pay nezek sholem. That's what we learn from these words, Kamishpat Hazeh Yasalo, according to the Tana Kama of this brisa. So really, the same liability that exists by shore when it gores and does damage to its shore, so too the same liability exists when he does to Adam. Nezek. Pays for the Nezek, Chatzi Nezek, or Nezek Shalom, Tamud. So says Tanakama. Rabbi Kiva disagrees.
רבי עקיבא אומר, כמשפט הזה, כתחתון ולא כעליון. כתחתון ולא כעליון. יכול לשלם דין העלייה.
Okay, yeah.
יש עלייה.
המלומה יעשה לו בגופו.
כמה למה יעשה לו בגופו משלם, ואינו משלם מן העלייה.
Okay, well, that's it. Okay, Rabbi Kiva says, what does it mean, Kamishpat Hazeh? Ketachton. Zeh is a specific language, like this mishpat. What, like which mishpat it will be? Yasalo? This mishpat, the mishpat of the Tachton. Below Ke'elyon. What does that mean? Well, we've been learning Nefesh HaChaim with Roy here, and Roy knows what the difference between the Olamas Hatachtonim and the Olamas Elyonim are, right, Roy? But here we're not talking about Olamas. We're not talking about the upper worlds or the lower worlds. We're talking about, there's a Shor Hatachton and there's a Shor Ha'elyon. Now this is not Kabbalah. How do we, which is the Shor which is the Tachton and which is the Shor which is the Elyon? Which one is which? And Gewalt, Rashi doesn't even help us at all. So we're going to have to figure this out on our own, unless I'm sorry. I have to ask for apology. Rashi should be mochel me. I looked at the wrong Mishnah. There's two Mishnahs on this page, and it's the Rashi on the Gemora of the first Mishnah. Let's take a look at what Rashi says over here. Kamishpat Hazeh Yasaloi Rabbanan Loi Daike Hazeh the Mesilei Midrasha Kidlakaman Kach Mishpat Shor Ba'odam the High Krab is Shor Ba'odam Ksiv Oben Yigach. Fine. This is what we're interested in here. Ketachton V'lo Ke'elyon. It's Mishpat Hazeh according to this Mishpat, not the other Mishpat. Well, there's two Mishpatim over here. There's a mishpat of the shor Takton, and there's a mishpat of the shor Elyon. So what does that mean? It means that this shor, when he gores Adam, he's going to have the same din as the shor Takton, but not the mishpat of the shor Elyon. Now everybody's thoroughly confused. Let's take a look at what Rashi defines as shor Takton and shor Elyon. Ketachton, below Ke'elyon. Says Rashi, Mishpat HaTachton, Mishtoi, B'muad. The Mishpat HaTachton, which we were dealing with by a muad. Ukra Kama, Batam. Rabbi Kiva, Hazeh, Diek, Kloimar Dino, Desolik, Hai Kra Minei. Oh boy. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. What is Rashi saying over here? Now we have to take a look in the Psukim. Where did we find the Mishpat Shor B'Shor in Parshas Mishpatim?
After Islamic Eid starts.
There's a parak.
It's Chaf. Really, it's just keep sucking later. Lamed Hey.
In the beginning, it's
Here, Pasuk Lamed Hey.
Lamed Hey.
Pasuk Lamed Hey. It says, V'ki yigo shor ish es shor re'eu. When a shor will yigof is also a language of Nogach. Got the place, Roy? He will gore his fellow shor. Umeis. What's the din? Mafras ashor achai chetzod hatzu es kaspo v'gamas ameis yachatzu. That's the din of the tam. Od noda ki shor nogach umitmol shom. That's the din of the muad. Lo yishmerenu v'alav yishalim shor tachas ashor ameis yalo. Fine. Those two psukim are talking about the mishpat of shor b'shor. The first pasuk is talking about the shor tam. The second pasuk is talking about the shor muad. B'kitzer, the first pasuk is telling us that a shor tam, when he gores a muad, when he gores another animal, he pays chatzi nesek. And the other one, the shor muad, he pays nesek sholem. What Rashi is saying over here is, we got a shor tachton and a shor elyon. The shor tachton is the lower shor in this parsha. There's a parsha of two psukim. In the parsha, the first pasuk is talking about the tam, and the second one is talking about the muad.
Tachton.
So the tachton shor is the shor muad. And the elyon shor is the shor tam. So Rabbi Kiva, explains Rashi, is telling us what is going to be the din over here. Mishpat azeh yasa lo. Lo is the din of the mishpat shor be adam. What's the din when a shor gores and causes damage to an adam? Now notice, over here we're talking only about damages. When a shor gores and does damage to another shor. Now, of course, it's also if he dies. It's also called damage.
But therefore, if he's going to follow the tachton, which means he's going to have to follow the muad, it's going to say that a shor and adam always pays nezek sholem.
Right. Then that's what Rabbi Kiva is saying over here. The mishpat azeh, according to the mishpat of the shor tachton, meaning the shor muad, who pays nezik sholem, yaseh lo, you will do in the case of this one, meaning when a shor gores and causes damage to adam. So according to Rabbi Kiva, when a shor does damage to adam, it's dafka ka mishpat azeh, like the mishpat of the tachton, the mishpat of the muad, meaning he'll always pay nezik sholem. When a shor does damage to adam, he pays nezik sholem. So from this seif of the pasuk, we have the dinim of shor ba'adam. The pasuk is telling us that just like the din of shor b'shor, which we have from these psukim over here, chatzi nezek for a tam, nezek shalom for a muad, so too kamishpat hazeh yasalo. You're going to do to the shor who gores and causes damage to adam. But there's a machlokes between Tanakama and Rabbi Kiva. How much is going to be paid? Are you going to say the same exact dinim that you have by shor b'shor? That's what the Tanakama holds. You're going to pay shor b'shor, chatzi nezek for tam, nezek shalom for muad. Rabbi Kiva disagrees. He says no. When a shor gores adam, even if he does only damage, he's going to always pay mishpat hazeh. Mishpat hazeh is the shor tachton. That's the din of the shor muad. Shor muad always pays nezik sholem. So too here, yasalo, he'll always pay in the case of mishpat shor ba'adam nezik sholem. Okay. So this from this pasuk, the seifa, we already have the dinim of nezikin. For which type of person? Which type of person? We've got two types of people. We saw in the pasuk previous that we categorize people into two categories.
Well, the pasuk that you got this from is the Benobak pasuk. This pasuk is referring to is the Benobak pasuk.
Yeah. But the Mishpat Azeh Yasalo, we were saying that this, according to this din that we find by Shor B'Shor, we'll do with the Shor B'Adam. We'll do with the Shor B'Adam. But we don't have any authority to say that we're going to do that Mishpat of Shor B'Adam with every Adam. Mishpat Azeh Yasalo is going only about the most the category of the more chomer category, the one who's chayv in mitzvahs. That's ish v'isha. So what do we need the pasuk of O ben yigach O bas yigach for? We need that pasuk our Gemora in Mem Daled tells us that we need that pasuk to say that there's an equality between tam and muad, not only in regard to misa, but also in regard to the din of nizakin. Meaning that whatever the Tanakama over here or Rebbe Kiva hold the din of shor adam exists by ish v'isha, the first part of the pasuk of ben ubas yigach tells me we'll also say that din will apply even to one who's not chayv in mitzvahs, ben ubas. So according to that, we do need this ben ubas for the din misa, to equalize the din misa between tam and muad, and also to equalize the din nizakin. He'll be equal to the din of ish v'isha. So that's the nizakin over here. That's the libud. Good.
You have to bring in a bottle or something, don't you? You have to have a drink or something?
It's so clear. It's so beautiful. So where's the scotch? No, we don't want scotch. We want the yain that has the God's hechsher.
Why is he giving their Tachton or radio?
Tachton, because in this parsha that talks about these two psukim, that one shore gores another shore, so we have an upper pasuk and a lower pasuk. The upper pasuk is talking about the upper shore. The upper shore is the shore tam, and the lower shore is the shore muad. So when Rebbe Kiva says "Kamishpat azeh," according to this mishpat, he means this mishpat that exists by the lower shore. The lower shore is the shore tachton is the muad, because that's the second pasuk in this parsha. That's the tachton.
So
it's probably harder than Nefesh HaChaim, I think.
Why didn't Utscrolls or Shot Saints explain this?
Why didn't they explain it?
It didn't come out.
Baruch Hashem, so I have something to do. So in other words, what comes out very interestingly is that even though we do have psukim that discuss the liability for shor v'shor, we can't just say, oh, well, if there's liability for shor v'shor nezik, certainly there must be liability for shor b'adam. No, we need psukim for it. We need drushes for it. Okay? We can't just say, oh, well, if the same thing exists over there, certainly the same thing exists over here. No. No. Rabbi Moore told us on Thursday when I asked him this question, he said, you don't know because maybe the Gemora holds, maybe you would think to say, there will be more liability when a shore gores Adam than if he gores another shore. And in fact, you hear? So I wouldn't be able to say simply, oh, if the din is Hetzi Nezik and Nezik Shalom for when a shore gores another shore, Tam and Muad, so I'll say, well, the same thing will exist for Adam when he gores Adam. Tam will pay Hetzi Nezik and Muad will pay Nezik Shalom. In fact, Rebbe Kiva learns, based upon the drasha, K'mishpat hazeh, that no, there's more liability when a shor gores Adam. He'll pay Nezik Shalom in all cases of any time, even a short time. Even a time. That's the drush of Rabbi Kiva. Mishpat Hazeh is referring to not only Mishpat Shor B'Shor, but it's referring to the Mishpat Shor B'Shor Hatachton. That Mishpat. The Mishpat of the Shor Mud. So therefore, according to Rabbi Kiva, the Shor that gores an Adam will always pay Nezik Shalom. Even a Tam will pay Nezik Shalom. The Tanna Kama disagrees. The Tanna Kama just says, Mishpat Hazeh is referring to the Mishpat of Shor V'Shor. And everybody agrees that the Mishpat of Shor V'Shor is that a Tam pays only Chatzi Nezik, and a Muad pays Nezik Shalom. So the Tanna Kama learned, Mishpat Hazeh, Yasalo, you'll do to this one. You'll do to this one, this Shor that gores an Adam. So it'll be exactly the same. Tam Chatzi Nezik, Muad Nezik Shalom. But Rabbi Kiva says no. When a shor gores Adam, it's judged more stringently. From this drush of Kamishpat Hazeh, Yasalo, Rabbi Kiva understood that the Torah is telling us that there's greater liability when a shor gores Adam than when he gores another shor. So that's we understand very well, according to Rabbi Kiva, why we would need a drasha to learn out the din of shor ba'adam. Because there's greater liability. And our pasuk, meaning the first part of the pasuk, the resh of the pasuk, O ben ubas yigach, that Rashi said trei zimne, that's telling us to make an equality for the din of ben ubas to the din of ish ve'isha. Just like there's an equality between tam and muad for ish ve'isha. The tam is going to be chayv skila, and the muad is also going to be chayv, just like the muad is chayv skila. So too, when he gores, when the shor gores ben ubas, there'll also be skila. Not only for a muad, which the pasuk says is referring to explicitly, but also because of the riboy lashon trei zimni. It says yigach. From that second yigach that it's miutar, we're learning the din of skila for a tam in the case of ben ubas. But this that the Gemora said ulanazikin, Tosfos points out to us that's not really learned out from ben ubas yigach. That's learned out from the sefer of the pasuk. So that's the cheshbon that's coming out over here. And what's very interesting is because when the pasuk says over here ben ubas, when the pasuk says o ben ubas yigach, he gores either a ben ubas. How do you judge him? Kamishpat hazeh yaslo. According to this mishpat, you should do to him. Which mishpat is this mishpat? It's the mishpat of shor b'shor. Where is that mishpat of shor b'shor? The Torah hasn't even brought the pasuk that discusses that din yet. And we're calling it kamishpat hazeh. This mishpat that we haven't even seen yet. Kamishpat hazeh. Kamishpat hazeh, shor b'shor. According to Rabbi Kiva, dafka the mishpat hazeh of shor muad, the shor tachton. That's the cheshbon. Zrat Hashem. Question? No question. No further questions, huh? I silenced everyone. It's incredible how exact and precise every word has a calculation to it. Okay, so long, Matt, and everybody else. Have a great day.